afternoon, good evening, or good night, wherever in the world you're watching from on this Wednesday morning. If you were up late last night, then you'll see that Jimmy Kimmel is back with fire in his mouth, spitting venom all over. Say that the president want to silence him and hundreds of people who talk about his presidency, who mock him, or who talk about him. So the president want to take away your freedom of speech, which your First Amendment right. And it's not going to happen. But he said he was not posting about Charlie Kirk. You know, no one needs to unalive like that. But the topic of the day, of the morning, it's Jimmy Kimmel is back on air after peer pressure reached ABC and Disney Network. People was canceling their subscription and not turning up at Disney World. So because of that, they fall for the peer pressure and have to bring him back. But he said Kabir was never so lucky at CBS. But what are your thoughts this morning with the Jimmy Kimmel and the President saga? It's your freedom of speech, which is your First Amendment right. Your First Amendment right is your freedom of speech. So he said that the president trying to censor the journalists as well. If you don't get press clearance from the president, you can't broadcast certain information about the president. So now we're going to know a little bit of what's going on in our country in America, because they're silencing everybody. Yep. So Jimmy Kimmel is back on the air, and he's out with a bang on his first night back. He go in on the president and Carr, trying to censor them and silence them. But it's important when you know your job and you do your job well, because they tried to silence him. I know they was wrong, because he never said nothing wrong with the Charlie Kirk saga. But because they were off of them so long, then the opportune time come when they said, okay, then here we go, let's go in on him. But he's a comedian, which his view and the president's view are not the same. But as a president, you can't be that thin-skinned. Because if Jimmy Kimmel and all of those late night show hosts lose their job, it's gonna be hundreds, if not thousands of people lose their job. The president is just one person. But when you look at a network have what? Hundreds or thousands of workers. Because just Jimmy Kimmel alone, for the staff writers, the cameraman. So when you look at it, it's a lot of people working with him for that production to work. So if Jimmy Kimmel go, several of them gonna go, if not hundreds. Same thing with the other Seth Meyers and all of them. Why is the president and his administration pressing all those people that don't have freedom of speech anymore? Why they're trying to censor people all over the country? For you to not know what's going on in the country, so you could talk about it. We have too much going on for the president to up late night watching Jimmy Kimmel and other comedians roasting him. Because now you make he get suspended or canceled for a week, only to see him return with vengeance and spitting more fire and calling out all the people who was behind it. So now they're gonna start look at you guys like, hold on, car, you was behind it, Mr. President, you was behind it. He's gonna go in, start calling names. But to start the show, it was the blacked out. It, yep. But Disney is a private company, so I don't see why they release him in the first place. Holly, bless up yourself. I'm in Atlanta, Georgia. But the subject of the matter is President and his administration want to get rid of freedom of speech and freedom of expression, where you can't go out in the street and express yourself. That's what Jimmy Kimmel said. Your First Amendment right is your freedom of speech. Your second is your what? Freedom. You're free to bear arms. That means you can protect yourself and your family. That is your Second Amendment right. But the first one, freedom of the press. He said that the president and his administration want to censor the journalists. Antonio Mendez, blessings to you and your family. But what are your thoughts on Jimmy Kimmel return with a banger, with fire in his mouth, spitting fire against the president? It was not looking good last night watching. Because I tell you, for the 25 minutes he roasted the president. But after so much backlash with against Disney, because you know Disney owned ABC, and people are canceling their subscription because they say, if no Jimmy, I'm not subscribing, I'm not watching you anymore. So they lose millions or billions of dollars and millions of subscribers. As they keep on telling you, powers is in the numbers. As in Jamaica, we say the more, the merrier. So if a lot more people cancel their subscription, what do you think gonna happen? They don't wanna have that. And it's only what? Last week, Wednesday, so yeah, 7, 8 days. They said they have dialogue with him to bring him back, which they have to. They want to go bankrupt. Because after a hard day at work, you want to sit in front of your TV and relax before you go to bed to get a sense of humor from these comedians at night. So you laugh yourself to sleep before you wake up in the morning for that labor work. And you do the same thing over and over again every day and every night. Because life is stressful at times. So a joke here and there will wipe away your tears and your sorrow from your day of labor. But Jimmy Kimmel is back, and he roasted the president last night. I know the president must be very unhappy today by watching him, if he watched Jimmy Kimmel last night. I know the viewership last night must be out of this world, because everybody tuning in to see if he gonna go in on the president, or what he gonna do, or what he gonna say. But what are your thoughts with the Jimmy Kimmel saga with the president? Because the president tweet that all of them should go, the network should fire them. But remember, it's a network of people. So if Steph Meyer goes, if Jimmy Kimmel go, then it's a lot of people gonna lose their job. And as a president, you don't want people to be losing their job. You want people to be working so the economy can keep afloat. Or unless you don't want the economy to stable. Because we can't be rooting for people to losing their jobs. They have a family to feed. And if they have family to feed, then hey, we want everybody to have a job. More people have jobs, then the better the economy be. And for the president, if you have the number one economy in the world, that simply means that you are doing good, you are doing well. But if everybody working, I mean, the economy gonna strive. But what are your thoughts this morning, this afternoon, or this evening, or in the night, wherever in the world you're watching from? Jimmy Kimmel is back. Disney and ABC bring him back last night, and it was a blacked out. People tune in to watch and hear what he was gonna say. Was he gonna be soft? Or was he gonna go hard on the president? Which he did. He was in hard on the president. He was knocking the president all over the ballpark. So I know this morning when you get up, you're gonna see all over the news, Jimmy Kimmel is back. And he said, oh, the president wanna get rid of freedom of speech. You wanna censor the journalists, silence all his critics. That's why he get rid of him in the first place. But it was a good laugh last night watching Jimmy Kimmel. It was funny at times and serious at times. For 25 minutes, he was going in. But as a nation and as a country, we have to do better. We can't just have one side censoring the other side. We're supposed to have a balance. And the way the president sees things is just his way or no way. And we can't have that. If you're a Democrat and you talk bad against the president gotta come at you. And that's what we see be going on. Which to me don't make sense because you're an American. So everybody can't be on one side. It has to be balanced. Some is gonna be for the left and some is gonna be for the right. Some are going to be in the middle, which is the center, and some gonna be extreme. But we have to have a balance. We can disagree to agree with what's going on in our country, but we can't push in for people to losing their jobs. Because before it here, they got to do their review it. They have to review it before they hear it. So because Jimmy Kimmel is the one who read it from the teleprompter, you're gonna fire him because he's the voice. No, the people who write it, they're the voice behind it. Because they write it. But because it's him they see on the TV, they said, okay, it's Jimmy Kimmel. He's just reading from a teleprompter. But what are your thoughts this morning or this afternoon? Jimmy Kimmel is back. But we need a little laughter before we go to bed. Well, that's one of the ways to save humanity, love and compassion, but that's what we don't have anymore. We don't love thy neighbor as ourselves anymore. So we're not going to have that. Right now, the way the world is going, Lucas, is me and Rebecca, is just me and my house alone. People just looking out for themselves and their family. Because when you got a president calling for people to lose their job, it doesn't make any sense and it don't even add up. But Lucas and Rebecca, blessings to you and your family. You know, a lot of people lose the humanitarian. They lose it. You know, like they have accident or something. The police they're speeding without even having their lights on. Hmm. But we have to go back to that where we love our neighbor as ourselves. When I was growing up in Jamaica, it take a village to raise a child. You know, you could go to your neighbor house and everybody live as one. No, you don't have that because you know you can't talk to any and any children like before. They tell their parents come, they cuss you out, tell you all manner of things and what they will do to you. So now it's just parents just raising their children by themselves. But what are your thoughts? Jimmy Kimmel is back and stronger than before because you see that he have numbers behind him. And if you have number behind you, then hey, you're gonna get the support. Seem like Kabir didn't get the support, so they never bring him back. But we got to go back to love, loving and caring and sharing. The world needs love, as Rebecca said, but we don't have that anymore. If you look at what's going on in the world, it's war and rumors of war. As Bob Marley and the Wailers said, it's gonna be war. Everywhere is war. About the 10 police car, they have something going on in front of me. And some of them turning off their lights. Yes, but everywhere is war. And as we can see, the time is fulfilling. As Bob Marley said, this is war. Everywhere is war. There's no peace. Mankind are getting desperate each and every day. The minds and hearts of man is getting eviler and eviler by the second. Every morning you wake up and we see what happened in the day before. We have to go back and tell our kids and our children that we love them. Because I think that's what is missing. People are not love anymore. And if you don't have no love, you can't show love and compassion to your fellow man. We watch the news and we've been brainwashed by what we see on the news and what we hear. Because what you're seeing on the news is not the reality. They don't tell you everything that's happened. They tell you a part of it. But it's for you to use wisdom, knowledge, and understanding to understand the things that is happening around you. But as it said this morning, live like today is your last day on this earth. So love thy neighbor as thyself. If you're a biblical person, we have to go back to love. Because lots of the evil things that happen in our country and in our society, they said these people are loners. So most likely there wasn't love. You got to embrace your kids no matter how old they be. Tell them you love them. Because you wasn't born in hate. You wasn't born in anger. You wasn't born in bitterness. So how you grow to be bitter and angry about everything? The world is a beautiful place. Just imagine you were in darkness for about 9 months. If you develop fully term, if you're premature, then you're born before that 9 months. And you couldn't see nothing more than darkness. And when you were born, your eye opened into the lights. Now you see the lights. As Bob Marley said, now you see the light, you gotta stand up for your right. Then you're gonna listen to somebody telling you like, listen, don't like that person, don't love that person. Why? Because of the color of that person's skin, the way they look, the way they talk. These beggars never take a day off. They work every day, 7 days a week. Which day do you take a day off? Thank you for any help. And you even stay blessed. You even sign your board. That means you're a smart man. You can go look at 9 to 5. I see one of the sign yesterday say, "I'm not gonna lie, I need a beer." So he begging to buy alcohol. He begging to buy beer. That's hilarious. I say, "I'm not gonna lie, I just need $1 to buy beer." And he get the dollar and he put in his pocket and continue to beg. That's how smart they are. Don't underestimate the beggars. The beggar will beg everything you have and leave you naked if you give it to them. But wherever you're watching from this morning, blessings to you and your family. Rebecca and Lucas, blessings to you and your family. May your day filled with fun, laughter, and happiness. As you could see, Jimmy Kimmel is back on the air and he's having a fun day. That's the president. Last night it wasn't nothing normal. It was crazy. Life is about happiness, not bitterness. Bitter and anger only lead you into destruction. And if we are on the path of greatness, we're supposed to be happy. We should be happy. Talk and laugh. As he said, laugh at our own sorrow and our own pain. We can disagree to agree with our indifferences. We don't have to be calling for somebody to lose their job. Once we start to turn towards somebody losing their job, that means we want to take away their livelihood or their happiness. Because people work in order to pay their bills. And if you can't pay your bills, then what you going to have? You're going to be unhappy. If you're sending your children to college or school, and that person not working, they're not going to be able to support your family. And I was listening to the widow of Charlie Kirk. He said that's what Charlie Kirk wants. People to be happy, people to be loved, people to get married. But as a nation, we got to do better.